Good morning. My name is Dr. Kristi Julian, and I'm an assistant professor at East Tennessee State University in the Department of Engineering Technology. And our presentation with Dr. Uden and Dr. Keith Johnson is leading the way with interdisciplinary design teaching. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the background and why we did this framework for the presentation, give you a little information about the learning environment, how we approach the methodology, what we found, the results, some recommendations in terms of faculty for this particular presentation, and some conclusions. Research framework on this is most of the time when you talk about sustainability, you talk about environmental, economic, and social dimensions, and from those three spheres. And what we found is a lot of institutions is they get a broad, kind of a generalistic overview of sustainability, and the students were missing some of the things that we wanted to emphasize as a program are related to our area of study. So that's basically why we developed these modules, is we wanted to get a more concentrated area of focus for our programs. A little background. In order to address this limitation on the generality that happens with sustainability is we had two programs, Construction Engineering Technology and Interior Design, and we wanted to see, we're very collaborative, but we wanted to try to meld and kind of mold that into one so that the left hand knew what the right hand was doing in the classes and that it would start being applied in the studios a little more. As far as why we chose modules and video training, we just thought in this electronic age where the students are connected, their phones are connected to their hip, that a smartphone and something they could access from their phones or their devices and their tablets would be a way that they would be user-friendly to them. The other thing that we used a good bit with this is reflection. And we do that constantly in the curriculum, is a way to evaluate what they were getting. We were getting feedback from them on how this was working, how the modules were working from an administrative standpoint, how that was working for us as faculty. The learning environment, basically what it was, video clips and short modules and specific workshops for leadership, energy, and environmental design. That was more so the focus. And then we tailored it. Each of those modules were tailored to construction engineering technology and to ID. The beauty of it could be viewed by us as faculty. It could be administration. It was a 24/7 type of atmosphere. The students could look at that module and then review it again if they didn't understand some of the content. All the videos were accompanied by specific exercises and tasks that they had to do, comments. There were links to other things that they could look at if they didn't understand one particular item, and video links to things specific to that particular module. And here you see a table of some of the key things, the lead key measures and corresponding for focuses, and we tailored it to that so we could have sort of a template. And so we would take sustainable site, water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, things that they knew about, and then we said, this is for construction engineering technology, this is for ID, and then the students actually saw, this is how it would apply for construction. This is what we would do from a construction standpoint. These are the things from an interior environment standpoint that we need to pay attention to. And here's some more. Materials and sources, indoor environmental qualities. Those were key things for the ID students, but they applied to the construction department as well. Now, each module had a brief handout. It was set up consistently the same for each module. And what I'm saying for that is we had an introduction, we had a slide for content, we had a slide for overview. They were set up so that it was the same. Each module was set up basically the same, with the same amount of slides, with the same approach, with the same questions, with the same overview, ending with a quiz. And then we had PowerPoint things. We had things were discipline specific. We gave specific examples for construction engineering technology and specific examples for ID, and then how they related to each other. The data collection was a pre-test, then a midterm. We had assessments along the way. We saw the average score was 61%, so we saw there was a significant gap and that we need to work on that. Then after each module, they had a mini test to see what they were retaining. And then we had assessments, a midterm assessment, and then at the very end. And here's some of the preliminary results. And we would look at that and kind of talk to the students and reflect on what they understood in a baseline and what they really weren't getting. Here's some of the improvements. Dr. Uden and Dr. Johnson will talk more about the improvements. So I'm going to just skip on to the next slide, but I wanted to show you where they started, where the midpoint was, and where it ended up at the end. And it was significant in a number of categories. As far as results and technical use, most of the users agreed that this video clip, learning environment, being able to access 24/7 was a very good approach. Recommendations, some of the things we found were on each module, make it as specific as we can to that module and present only the information and the basic, I call it ABC, basic foundational information for that, for the users. A big issue was preloading. Just preload as much of the information as possible up front so that they have it all accessible to them, and it helps the faculty as well. And then I would encourage having feedback, a lot of feedback and reflections along the way, and maybe doing a little more of that. If I had to do it over again, I would say that's what I would do more of, is do feedback, a little more reflection on what they were getting at each module so we can assess it that way. Conclusions, it was successful for us. We'll do it again, okay? I saw from an ID standpoint that the ID students really had a better understanding of how construction affected and what they were doing, how that affected project management, project scheduling, how the things that they were doing from their standpoint and interior environment standpoint affected the overall project. I found it successful. Dr. Uden is going to talk to you a little bit about what he found from the construction engineering technology standpoint. I thank you for allowing me to come to this presentation, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you.